everybody, and welcome back to the second episode of That CBD Show. We're here on WeBeam TV. I am Christy Burkhead, and with me is my husband, Drew Burkhead. Yeah. And we do this show weekly to talk about CBD and the hemp industry. And today we are going to start by talking about what we are so excited about in CBD.
So last show we said, so what brought us here to be talking about the CBD show? Right. Why the CBD show? Because CBD is just one aspect of a larger industry that's out there. Mm-hmm. So what gets us excited and what we kind of wanted to shed some light on about CBD itself and why that's such a big topic and why it deserves its own show, to kind of reinforce that, we're going to look at an article that it was actually in the Rolling Stones magazine, and this is dated September 11th. And so this is a really good example, and there's a lot of research in here that we found that backs up, you know, what it is about the CBD industry and what makes that so exciting.
So exciting. And
why we would just be talking about CBD. Now we won't just talk about CBD. We're going to have a lot of series, and we're going to have a lot of coverage, and we're going to talk about news and talk about industry in general, and we're going to go outside of that. But let's just hit on CBD itself. So the title of this article, Christy, was Exclusive New Report Predicts CBD Market Will Hit $22 billion by the year 2022.
22 billion.
This is absolutely phenomenal, and I'll tell you why. I'll expand upon it a little bit. So the first part of this article, and this was by Elizabeth Garber Paul, and so she writes in here that for years, experts have predicted that the cannabis industry is going to expand. If it expands at its current rate, the American market will reach $20 billion by 2020. And so, but it turns out that one market is spinning off into a mega industry. So what's happened is there's this cannabis industry that's really emerging.
Supposed to be $20 billion by 2020, just the cannabis industry in general.
That's right. Okay. So, and that's emerging, and there's so much happening politically and with companies kind of putting their arms around this industry and what, you know, how they're going to manage it and control it as it goes forward. Mm-hmm. Canada just passed their legalization of it, so things are changing all over.
And fast.
So to continue on here, it says, but it turns out that one market is spinning off into a mega industry of its own. Mm-hmm. According to a new estimate from the cannabis industry, and this is by the analyst, the Brightfield Group. Now, I had to look into what who the Brightfield Group was, and the Brightfield Group is a research group that just studies the cannabis industry.
Oh, okay.
So they know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that the hemp CBD market alone could hit $22 billion by 2020.
That's awesome.
So that is absolutely staggering. Those types
That's really exciting.
So why? You know, CBD has been shown to, and I'm just quoting this article here.
Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So CBD has been shown to help with everything from PTSD and anxiety to MS and epilepsy without getting you high. So, and there's more to the story than that, but that's what's quoted in this article. So to give you an idea of the growth, so far this industry right now, our CBD industry, they're saying is on track to hit about 591 million this year.
This year, in 18.
This year in 18, at the end of 18. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
wait, so that's like 40 times growth.
That's 40 times growth.
Just under.
That's 40 times growth. So if you can imagine if somebody came to you and say, I have a stock tip. Yes. Somebody comes to you and says, I got a stock tip. I have a stock that if you invest in it today, it's going to grow 40 times over the next 4 years. Do you think you'd pay attention?
I would pay attention
to that. So that's where this industry sits. So the CBD is just really such a powerful supplement.
Right. Of course.
And has become just such a major player inside of this industry.
That's incredible. So as distributors of this, we're going to need help.
We're going to need help. We're going to need a lot of help.
Okay.
So and the article goes on, and I'll kind of continue on. You know, they're talking in here about why CBD has such an impact to the market. So they're talking about things that are starting to come out, like face masks with CBD and
face masks with CBD.
So like like a cream for your
your
face.
Okay, yeah, like what women do. Okay.
Yeah. So there's creams, and I've seen makeups and things now starting to infuse CBD, using bug bite treatment or just skincare and topicals.
We have a topical, I use all the time. So
yeah, so it's being used for everything that you can think of. This is Bethany Gomez is in here, and Bethany Gomez is with the Brightfield group, and so these are her words, and she's saying
that's the cannabis research group.
It is the Brightfield group. Okay. So she's saying that that it can be used for everything you can think of: sports, triathlons. People want to buy it for their grandma.
Right, who has arthritis.
Yeah, she's got arthritis, or women are getting it for PMS, for endometriosis. Just common things that people have been using, prescription medications,
or even or
just over the
aspirin or something. So it could absolutely, over time, and I would say that's what they're predicting, is going to replace the standard Advil and aspirin that's in everybody's medicine cabinet at home.
I know that as we've been working in it, that's one thing that we have seen and believe is that it's going to be, we believe CBD is going to be right next to or replacing some of those things that are in the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, all the time. Well, we're counting on that. We bet on that a year ago. Right.
You know, the other interesting thing that is pointed out in this article, and it's also by Ms. Gomez, she says this industry has grown out of nowhere. It's really grown by word of mouth. Now, it started out, it started out decades ago, and we covered that in the last show, but let's just talk about here recently in the last years. It's been in just some little shops here and there, but now that it's really sort of, popped up, you are seeing it in more locations and more boutiques and other areas, as we just talked about.
Of course.
But there's no real big box marketer that's got a handle on this, that's really distributing this out. You're not seeing it on the television.
No huge distribution monster yet.
Yeah, so it's really just, as far as a marketing aspect goes, and as far as getting it out there, it really has been just spreading word of mouth and sort of organically, in the marketplace. So that's where it's at now. So some of these predictions and some of this growth is going to be about once this starts to get a little bit more traction, a little bit more mainstream, it's really going to be just
explode. And it sounds like exponentially probably every year. So we may see a certain level of growth in 19, but then exponential growth by 20. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
So we're gonna,
great news.
We know the power of word of mouth. We work with people all the time and face to face, and the power of word of mouth and distribution.
We've built our whole distribution on word of mouth, everything we've done.
And Gomez says this is definitely the craziest market she's ever covered in this industry. So we're going to just head to a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about just what's so special about CBD.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Trisha up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to That CBD Show. I'm Christy Burkhead, and with me again is my husband, Drew Burkhead, and we're back. We're going to talk a little bit about why CBD is so special. We just came off of discussing the article about the industry and the explosion in the industry, but now we're going to narrow down a little bit and just talk about why it seems to be so special.
And to do that, one thing that I want to reference is that we always recommend to do your own research at home. We're just working to find all this information out there because there's so much out there, and just really work on this and distill it down and bring it down to a point where we can at least, you know, get you some basis and some understanding, but then at the same token, do your own research. And I'll tell you, if you're watching this and you want to continue research, there's a website called projectcbd.org, and I highly recommend this site. I continue to go back to this site for information and resources. It was developed out of California. There's a whole lot of research and information coming out of California. These were a couple of gentlemen, journalists, if I get that wrong, I apologize, but they started this site, and it's really morphed into this great resource of information about CBD and all the things in the industry. So with that being said, at Project CBD, there's a section, there's an article section there, and it says, learn about how CBD can help with. And I counted through, there's 54 ailments that they have, where they have a specific link for the name of the ailment.
Okay.
You can click on that ailment link, and that's going to open you up to the research and what they have that backs up for that. So kind of where the rubber hits the road for us, we talked about why we're so excited about the industry, and we talked about the industry exploding, and then so why? And for us, it really kind of boils down to, what is it doing for people?
Right.
So I know we have some personal stories.
Yeah, we'll go down that list a little bit, and if you hit one that he's the research guy, I'm the hands-on person, so go down that list and tell me a couple of those, and if I have a personal story about it, I'll stop you. So
this is again from Project CBD, and it says, learn about how CBD can help with, the first line is general, so that's it. So then we'll start with A's, acne.
Okay, I got one about acne. So our friend of our daughter's had severe acne, terrible acne, but he started taking the CBD for something else, for some other reason, and he got on it, and within 2 months his skin was completely clear, and he had tried everything in his life, and he said he wasn't even taking it for that. He just, all of a sudden, someone mentioned to him, wow, your skin looks great, and sure enough, in 60 days he had almost perfectly clear skin from pretty severe acne problems. So, and these are all just going to be anything that he brings up. If I have a personal connection with either a family member, a friend, or a customer of ours, I'll tell you a little bit about it.
Now, everyone's body can kind of work differently, maybe take a little bit more time for some. How long did it take?
His was 60 days. His skin cleared up.
Okay.
But yeah, and I don't know if that's average. It's the only particular story I have in the year that I've been doing this. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second, that would be on their website, says ADD and ADHD.
We have some friends of that. They have a son, I think somewhere between 9 and 11 years old, and they started giving him the CBD. He was on about 5 pills a day of a drug, a pharmaceutical drug. His ADD and ADHD were so severe that at night they actually had to lock his bedroom door, because if they didn't, he would get up in the middle of the night and do awful things around the house, just destroy things. So that's severe when you have to lock a kid into their room. They gave him the CBD, and within just a few short weeks of being on it, they started reducing his medication. I don't know how far they've gone reducing it, but they noticed that they were riding in the car with them, and they thought he was asleep because he was being so quiet in the back. He was either usually asleep or screaming and yelling. They said they thought he was asleep for the longest time until she turned around and realized that he was just being a normal kid, sitting in the back looking out the window. And this is something that, was just, for them, that was life-changing, and they were doing it without the drug. So that's just another one.
That's fantastic. So so with the supplement, usually they're going to indicate, for use 18 and over.
Sure.
Right. But I mean, if the parent, does research and, wants to administer, that's
right. Sure. I mean, I gave it to my daughter as young as 14, but I have no problem with that.
Well, I'm going to sidestep and just quote some research, and this is from
again, research guy.
Yeah, this is from Adrian Devitt Lee. Now, this guy is a superstar, and he is not. His background here is so impressive. You would think that he's been in this industry for 30 years.
Okay, is this the guy that graduated from college in 13?
High school in 2013. So since 2013, I'm not even going to bring everybody through this. He graduated from Tufts University, but he writes a lot for CBD.org. And on page 24 of his one of his just recent publications of cannabidiol drug interactions, he says that the preclinical research indicates that administering CBD in conjunction with first-line chemotherapy drugs can potentially help with reducing the use of chemotherapy. So that was huge. But what I wanted to get to was that he's saying that there's they're really not finding any sort of affiliation with like overdosing or anything like that, overuse in any instance anywhere with CBD. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
That reducing the chemotherapy necessary is pretty interesting.
So let's go to addiction would be next here.
I don't think I have a personal story on that.
Okay. AIDS?
Nope.
ALS?
Nope.
How about Alzheimer's?
Yeah, two pretty good stories about that. One in particular is a girl whose father was so far along in the disease, he was reclusive, incontinent, and her mother was caring for him, and he wouldn't even speak, couldn't speak anymore. They started putting this in his regimen, and after, I believe it was about 2 months of consistent use, he started coming out of his room. The last I heard from her, it had been 2 weeks since her mother had to do any diaper changes. He was using the bathroom again. He even picked up a guitar, didn't know how to play it, but was able to know what to do with it. And what she explained to me was that's incredible. He had played the guitar in his youth, but at that stage of Alzheimer's, he would have had no idea what a guitar even was. And he did pick it up and hold it correctly and pretend to play with it. So that was incredible. And even our neighbors recently had a great stories with Alzheimer's who had just had no short-term memory at all in the early stages of Alzheimer's, and is now, after, I don't know, more than maybe just 3 weeks on the CBD, is starting to remember
what he had for lunch
and being at lunch with them last
week. So we're not even through the yays, but that just gives an example of just even our own personal experiences. But projectcbd.org, great website for research. When we come back, we're going to cover, I believe we're going to talk about the endocannabinoid system a little bit when we return. So after this commercial break.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Christy Burkhead. This is Drew Burkhead. This is That CBD Show. We're back for our last segment of today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the endocannabinoid system today, shortly termed the ECS.
Yeah, so we could really talk about this for a long time. There is so much about this, and the more that I study about the ECS, the more I know that what I don't know, and the more I see how much this is such a frontier for research in general. We have some people that when we have come along the way in this year that we really look to their writing. One of those, it's Dr. David Allen. Right. And I'll just quote him really quick.
Yeah, he is a retired cardiovascular surgeon, made a statement one time that really caught my attention as a surgeon, that the discovery of the endocannabinoid system in the human body is the most important scientific medical discovery since the discovery of sterile surgical technique. If you think about that for a minute, hearing that from a surgeon is incredible.
Yeah, and so the CBD, really doesn't mean a whole lot until you understand what it's interacting with in the body. And we at least like to try to get a little bit of an understanding out there. So one thing that Dr. David Allen will say is that this ECS system, this endocannabinoid system, was first discovered in the 90s, and doctors didn't understand what this system was initially when they discovered it. But
they discovered it searching for what happened when they ingested cannabis, right?
Well, yeah, in Israel, they were studying that, and that's when they found the system. But to the degree of what they were finding and what they were going to be finding and discovering afterwards, you know, they didn't quite know, and we're still that's why, I mean, it's still coming to light. Dr. David Allen, who's devoted the remainder of his life to the study of this, he simply states the endocannabinoid system handles homeostasis. It's a chemical system. It's not an electrical system. And he goes on to say that the ECS is a system, a control system that controls everything in the body.
Right.
So just quite simply, we can all understand that we have these bodies. We can all agree we have a body. And we can all agree that there's definitely a whole lot of systems and things that are taking place and happening inside the body. And so how does that all normalize, and how does that all regulate, and how does that all work together, and how does the body control all of that? And they didn't realize this, but when they discovered this ECS and began to name it and began to find particular receptors that interacted with cannabinoids, and these receptors interact with other important components inside the body, and they realized that they were discovering a system here, what they were finding, unbeknownst, was that this is a control system of, there's so many synapses and receptors and things happening inside the body, and firing and information happening to keep your body in balance. See, balance means, and homeostasis means, that you're in a straight particular line, and you're running level where you need to be. And you can go out of balance this way, but you can also go out of balance this way. So this ECS system is keeping that body
right. So you can have inflammation, but you can also have anti-inflammation.
Yeah.
You can have both. You can have hyperthyroid and you can have hypothyroid.
Yeah, yeah. There's the the yin and yang of everything. So that's what this endocannabinoid system is all about. We could go on for hours. There's so much happening. There's serotonin receptors. There's synapses firing.
Serotonin is that makes you happy? Makes you feel happy, right?
Yeah, I mean it's tied to a lot of important functioning things in the body. But so the CBD, what happens is, just like anything in life, you can have some type of system go out of balance. You can have your digestive system or an organ or something like that. That can go out of balance. Well, so can the ECS system. Now we're talking about a root drive system now that's controlling all the balance of all the other systems. Right. So through outside forces, diet, other things
stress, age.
Yeah, all of these things that can start to knock that system out of balance. So that CBD interacts with it. It plugs right in. It fuels it. It actually invigorates it. It gets it functioning properly, and it gets it to the point where it's performing the way that it needs to. And so what it then does is something a little bit different than, say, a drug might do, where a drug is really designed to perform an action, say push something in a certain direction.
Only one direction.
It's designed to move that way. When you push something in that direction, you actually could get out of kilter.
Everything else gets
out
of
balance. So that's where side effects and things start to happen. In fact, CBD isolates, where it's just CBD and you're not using the whole plant.
Not using a full spectrum
Interestingly enough, guess what happens? You start to get side effects. So we'll do a whole nother segment on why you use the whole plant.
Right.
Okay, but but the CBD, working with the ECS system, it's not a drug. It's a supplement. Okay, so it's just helping that system keep the body in alignment and keep it straight.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's fascinating.
Yeah. So that might explain why someone will tell me that if they take CBD, in the morning they feel a little bit tired. But in my case, when I initially started taking CBD, I was taking it at night, and it woke me up. I felt like I had energy when I really didn't want to. And what that sounds like, and what I'm starting to figure out with a year of experience in this, is that whatever your particular issue is, whatever your body needs, that homeostasis, that balance finds itself. So what might feel normal to you actually isn't correct balance for your body. So if you take CBD in the morning and you feel tired, all that's happening is that CBD essentially is balancing your anxiety level and calming you down because you needed calming, but to you, that makes you feel tired at first. So it might take a little bit of time for someone to remain consistent with the product to start to understand what feels like balance for their body. They just don't know because they're so out of whack. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so there's something coming out now called clinical endocannabinoid deficiency. You're gonna hear this. Watch a video by Dr. Ethan Russo, CBD and clinical endocannabinoid deficiency at projectcbd.org. Check it out. It's very interesting. They're now. So how do you find out if you're deficient? Well, they're starting to do some tests now. We're talking about taking spinal fluid at this point and checking it, but they're finding that people that have migraines have a very low level of their cannabinoids in their system that they need.
Endogenous
and they're starting
cannabinoids.
to relate this and be able to judge it. But
okay.
If people want to find out more, there's projectcbd.org. There's you can visit our website at www.fitfamilycbd. Yep, fitfamilycbd.com. We have some product selection there. And you can find us at Facebook at fitfamilycbd.com as well.
Right.
And
okay. Yeah. So next, you want to talk about a little bit about some. Well, I guess not. Are we just about out of time?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Then we're going to close this out. So if you have any closing comments you want to say,
no,
I thank
just
everybody.
Thanks everybody for joining us. It's been really fun. I hope you'll join us back next week.
Back here on that CBD show.
Right on WeBeam TV.